here. I try to get here early, so
Oh,
anyway,
gotcha.
sorry about that.
You guys
Okay.
are busy and it's hot.
It is hot. Luckily tomorrow it's supposed to be cooler.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, we'll head on inside here. And so you're thinking next year for Zoe's wedding?
Yeah, she's thinking of a Thursday in June.
Thursday in June. Okay.
Yeah. So she's gonna sign up like when the 9-month mark is. We're pretty darn sure she wants to use here, but
Got it. Okay. So is she dead set on Thursday?
she just likes Thursday, but no.
Oh, okay. Well, the only reason I asked is because we try to block out 2 days out of the week so we can have a break in between events and also
Okay.
where we can deep clean the house.
Okay.
Because otherwise, sometimes we'll have 5-6 weddings in a row.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So, there's a pot. I haven't started blocking out the dates yet because we're just now starting to approach the 9-month mark for
Okay.
next year. But it's either going to be a Tuesday or Thursday or a Wednesday or Thursday every week starting May 15th through September 15th.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that.
So it might be possible that she can't do a Thursday.
That's a possibility, but she
Okay.
could do a Friday.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if she's not dead set on
Okay.
Thursday,
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know
Gotcha.
that.
Okay. And so when she signs up, she would know then.
Yes.
Ahead of time. It wouldn't be like, okay, you signed up for Thursday. Sorry, you don't have it. 'cause
Oh,
we decided not to
no.
do
We
this."
wouldn't. We wouldn't. If someone has already booked it, we would not be
Gotcha.
able to block it off. Like no.
I understand.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
And if she does go to sign up, and the indicator would be if it's already like red on the map.
That means you can't do it. Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha.
And I'm gonna put a note up on the website too, saying which days out of the week during
Gotcha,
the summer.
thank you.
Yeah.
What was your name again?
Valerie.
Valerie, I already forgot. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No
Thank you,
problem.
Valerie.
Okay, and we're thinking next summer or next June.
About 75 people.
75 people. Yep.
Mhm.
As long as it's 75 or less, we are good.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Awesome.
Okay. Well, main floor. Have you been in here before?
Years ago with my grandfather,
Oh.
so when he was a commissioner.
Nice.
But it's been a long time.
Does it look very different?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty much the same.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Maybe some different furniture, but it's
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I just remember
Yeah.
we loved it. So.
Oh, okay.
Favorite part.
Yeah, I was gonna say June is a better month. There is a chance of rain,
Right.
but it'll be cooler because this house, it is over 100 years old. It doesn't have air conditioning.
Okay.
You'll see that as we head upstairs and we
Okay.
get a little bit warmer out here.
Gotcha.
But yes, there is one thing that is different. There are now bathrooms in the house.
Okay.
So
awesome.
that was added in 2015.
That's a good
There's
thing.
also a bathroom on the second floor
Oh,
too.
perfect. Okay.
So wedding party guests can utilize this. If caterers, vendors can. But the majority of the guests will use the bathroom that's at the top of the lawn there.
Gotcha. All right.
Gotcha,
Cool.
Continue on into the house here. Dining room. We have access to these two 8-foot-long banquet tables. So
Okay.
if you want to keep the food inside
Gotcha.
or have a little gift table or something, you can do that.
Okay. Perfect.
And then there's a kitchen in here. There's a dinner lighting for you.
500-year-old. Oh, look at this whole.
Oh yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah, it really fits the theme. Now it doesn't work,
Okay.
but this one over here does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Working stove, oven, refrigerator, microwave, sink. One thing with the stove is because it doesn't have a hood vent, just no like frying bacon on the stove top. Nothing that's going to
Permeate the house.
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly. But you can use the oven to heat up stuff. Same
Okay.
with the stove if you want to heat
Perfect.
something up, that's fine. Now the fridge is an apartment-sized fridge, so just keep that in mind if you're needing to store stuff in there
Okay.
for the caterer or something.
Okay. Perfect.
And then we have a little broom closet here.
Oh, great.
Now for rinsing the house, we don't ask you to do a deep clean of the house at the end of the evening. We just ask that you leave the house as you found it. Take out anything that you brought in. If you steal
Sweep.
something, just sweep it
Gotcha.
up just so it's not sitting. When you get the house and the lawn from 9 in the morning until 1 hour before dusk.
Okay.
So you just have to be cleaned up out of the house, cleaned up off the lawn at the checkout time 1 hour before dusk. In June,
What time would that be in June?
well, the longest day of the year is summer solstice, June 22nd. So depending on what her date is in June.
June 20th is
it'll-
what she hoped for.
June 20th. Got it. Okay. It'll probably be right around like 8:30.
Oh, great. Okay. Perfect.
Is my guesstimate there, but yeah, And then at the end of the evening, we come through, we'll gather up any trash that you've collected, and then we'll come back down and we'll do a walk through the house just to make sure everything's in good shape.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, well, we can head on upstairs. I'll show you
Perfect.
the dressing rooms that are up there.
And the house comes with the rental when you rent the...
Yeah. So whenever you rent the Emel house, you get that house and the surrounding grass and lawn.
Okay, gotcha. That's how it's not. Double checking.
Oh yeah, of course. No, that's a good question.
Oh, so cute up here.
I know. Okay. So over here, this tends to be the bride's dressing room.
So pretty. Awesome. Bride's dressing room.
Mirror and little bench there to get ready. You can sit in here with her while she gets ready. There's
With
a
her
closet so
mama.
she needs to hang stuff up. We also keep fans in the closets, get airflow circulating. So hopefully June it won't be too hot.
Right.
But if you need them, they're there. We also have a folding cleaner here.
Obviously, we know we live in Washington, so we live here too, but are you finding June is a fairly decent month for weather, or do you know?
Well, like this past June was a weird one. You know, we only had a couple of days of actual rain.
Yeah.
Typically, June is supposed to be January, and we get a little bit more rain. It's a little bit more overcast.
Gotcha. I just couldn't remember. I lived here my whole life.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's a very good question. But it is all kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It can be kind of random.
It's Washington.
Yeah, I mean, there were some days in July where we had weddings, and they ended up having rain, and you wouldn't expect that in July.
Right. Gotcha. Oh, how pretty is this? Look at the views.
I know, best view of that
Wow. This is really pretty.
of the mountains in this room.
Beautiful, the old windows. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
And there's also another fan in this closet and another mirror too.
Awesome.
Okay. And then we'll head over on the left here. There's the second bathroom.
Oh, it's big.
Yeah, it's huge. Wow. So this used to be a storage room, and they just converted it into
No,
a bathroom. Yeah.
Gotcha. Great.
So.
Oh, there's even a shower room.
Yeah.
I needed it for some reason.
Sometimes people, like if they're busy getting everything set up on the lawn, they get sweaty if it's like wedding party, and they just want to jump in the shower and
Awesome.
get cooled off and then get ready.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow, this is just perfect. She's pretty darn set on it. So.
So I have a question,
Yes.
Valerie. Theoretically, what if she was dead set on that Thursday? Is that like really not possible, or?
If you let me know, I can try to change the days that we close it.
Okay, gotcha.
Perfect.
So-
She's like, let me slip you.
I know, we can handle
We
that.
won't do that.
Shh, Mom, you don't say it. Jeez.
I didn't say, oh yeah, and she's recording too.
Yeah, zip it. Mom, zip it.
Let's not have that on video.
I'm just curious if
No,
theoretically.
I've already had a couple of people, because we just started doing that this year. Because like last year, for instance, like after COVID kind of, like things were easing up a little bit. Last year it was just back to back to back to back, and it was.
I bet.
It was just hard on staff, so that's why we decided to, use 2 days out of the week to close it down. We followed, I don't know if you've looked at Kids at Memorial State Park, Log Hall? No, okay. Well, we followed their advice, because they started doing that, and it just, yeah, right.
Yeah, you guys don't have to be in hell just so everyone's gonna be wedding. I mean, yeah.
Questions for you, but I wonder if we should keep going and then go back.
So typically, usually, I'll go over some of the main rules that you always want to make sure people understand before they book.
For sure.
Just because we don't want to be the bad guys on your wedding day.
Yeah, of course.
And then once we finish going over those, then we'll go outside. I'll show you the chairs that are in the shed.
Perfect.
And then we'll also show you some parking that's down by the house, where the trash cans are, that sort of thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, one of the rules that we always want to make sure people understand before booking is the music policy. Because we are in a state park, we just have a unique rule in regards to music. If you're wanting to walk down the aisle to a particular song, it is perfectly fine to have amplified music during the ceremony out on the lawn.
Okay.
Now, once the ceremony is over, if you wanted to continue to have music, it would have to be acoustic music only.
Okay.
And when I say no amplified music, it's pretty much no electronics. So no DJs or speakers or amplifiers or Bluetooth speakers or stereos, anything like that.
Okay.
If you want to have music, it would have to be, like I said, acoustic. So if you want a string quartet, if you want someone playing the acoustic guitar, pretty much any acoustic, instruments.
Okay.
That would be acceptable.
Good to know. She's you're recording, right?
Yeah.
She's a music major, and so this would be an important part. So,
right,
but
of
I think
course.
she knew there was some music restrictions. So, okay.
Yeah. And it's perfectly fine for people to sing. It's just we don't want amplifying devices for their voices. The reason we have that rule, if you look through the window through the dining room over there,
Yeah.
on the edge of our property, there's a fence line, and we do have neighbors.
Okay.
We end up having 40 plus weddings during the summertime, and we're just trying to be respectful of the neighbors, but also sound just really carries in the park.
Okay.
And so, we have that policy. And when people are having a good time, what tends to happen is the volume tends to keep going up. So,
Up and up and up, and it
so
gets
that's why we
Gotcha.
have it.
Okay.
A couple weeks back, we had a wedding that used Puget Sound strings. So they had a string quartet.
Oh, cool.
And then just this past weekend, somebody hired a musician who was just playing the guitar. It was really nice. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Puget Sound Quartet. Okay, got that.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. In regards to parking, every vehicle that enters the park does have to have either a day pass or a Discover Pass. So you just want to make sure you communicate that to your guests so that way they're not caught off guard. When they enter, you usually have someone in the welcome booth, especially weekends, especially when we have events too.
Mm-hmm.
They can get a $10 day pass or purchase the Discover Pass.
And if
Unless
we
the
were to
wedding
pay
is
for
on a
that?
free day.
Okay.
That's the only. Oh yes, if you want to take care of it, you just notify us ahead of time. Usually I call about a week before an event to get finalized details, and that's when you would tell me.
Okay. Then I tell you that I have
Mhm.
50 cars or something.
Oh well, yeah. You don't even have to give me You don't really need to give me a count of the cars. Just let me know. Hey, I would like to take care of guest parking, and what we do when they start showing up, we ask for the name of the event, because sometimes we have pop-up.
Right.
Weddings.
People that are, yeah, I'm part of the wedding.
Right, or like an elopement ceremony down on the beach or something.
Gotcha.
So we'll ask the name of the event, and then we'll ask if they already have a Discover Pass. If they don't, then we give them a hang tag that's numbered. And then a couple hours after the ceremony, we stop by and let you know how many we hand out.
And we just pay for that.
Yeah, so if we hand out 10, then it's $100.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
In regards to parking, we highly recommend carpooling.
Gotcha.
We only have 24 parking spaces in the Emel parking lot, which is where the majority of the guests will be parking for the wedding. The main parking lot has 36 spaces, but that's shared with the rest of the day use.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we just highly recommend carpooling as much as possible. We won't ever turn guests away, but it just makes things easier. If your wedding is on a weekday, it probably won't be as much of a problem. It's really when it's Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
Those are the days because everyone wants to be out of the water.
Right.
So, yeah, just something to be aware of. You are free to decorate the house and the lawn, but nothing that's going to harm the park house or the park resources. Oh, so no nails, staples, push pins, command strips. No candles inside the house because we don't want an accident to happen with the house. And then we do have a policy with photography.
Oh, okay.
If you are planning on hiring a photographer for their services and the photographer is benefiting financially from taking photos in a state park, then they have to file a photography permit, and it needs to be filed 60 days before an event.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so there's a fact sheet there. There's contact info.
Okay,
I
perfect.
included Manchester State Park's email.
Okay.
The staff there, they process all the photography permits for the Kitsap area, and then they send them off to State Parks headquarters
Okay.
for
Gotcha.
a final review. Now, if you are going to have a family friend or somebody who's going to gift the photos, and you aren't going to be paying for the photos, then you don't need to worry about
Okay.
it.
How much is the permit, do you know?
It's $100.
Okay.
Mhm. And when you send the permit in, so the photographer fills it out. Photographer, sorry, talking fast here. Photographer also needs to include proof of insurance, just like because they're going to be operating the state park as a business. Like a certificate of insurance would be acceptable for proof there. And what was the other? Oh, a map showing where they're going to be taking the photos in the state park.
Okay.
The nice thing about the photography permit, if this photographer is going to be continuing to take photos in state parks, once they process the permit and pay that fee, it's good for a year, the fee.
Oh, okay.
So they don't have to keep repaying the fee or anything like that.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's see, I talked about that. Anything that I haven't brought up so far?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about if, how you've seen it work if it rains. Is a tent okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, there was something I was going to mention. So outside of the 2 banquet tables there, we don't have any tables. There are picnic tables out on the lawn, but they're very, very heavy. We have to move them with our tractor, so.
Okay, so they're not moving?
No.
Okay.
You'll probably need to rent tables, and you can also rent tents. That's perfectly acceptable. But they just have to be dropped off and picked up on the same day. And so just make sure that whichever company that you're going to hire, make sure they are aware that the wedding is taking place in a state park and there's a certain time that they have to pick up the tables by.
And how early did you say, 9 a.m. you can come in?
Yes,
okay.
9 a.m. until 1 hour before dusk.
Okay,
so, in regards to picking up the tables, I would try and do it at least 30 minutes or maybe an hour before the checkout time, just so you have enough time.
Make sure that it's done.
Yeah. And it's just because we, like I said, tend to have back-to-back events, and we don't want to have equipment left overnight in case something happens to it. We don't want the equipment rental people to be mad at anybody who's renting their equipment if it gets damaged.
You're in a state park and that could happen.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Do you have tips for setting up chairs on the uneven ground?
I can show you guys some areas of the lawn where people typically utilize the lawn for the ceremony. And some flatter sections too that would work better for if you do set up a tent. People tend to just rent a tent just in case, and if it ends up not raining, then you have a little bit of shade.
Right.
So it might just be, if you're doing a June wedding, it might just be the best
That's
option.
what we thought. I figured we probably just to make sure, and then.
And I can recommend a company that's been out here before. They do tents, they do tables, they do, if you want different chairs, they do chairs.
Tell me.
Olympic farm style events.
Olympic farm style events. Okay, did you hear that?
Yeah. And they have a good website. So if you want to, I think it's just olympicfarmstyleevents.com.
Okay.
So if you want to go on there and check out what they have, but they've been here before several times, and they can do same day pickup.
Okay, thank you. That's where I'll
And
go.
they know the layout, so they know how to get down here.
They know it all. They know the game.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yes.
A couple other questions yet.
Yes.
Is there a deposit?
No. So whenever you decide, I know the date that I want. As soon as that 9-month window opens up, it's 9 months out to the exact date.
Okay.
And I believe it doesn't technically open up until 7 a.m. I discovered this.
7 a.m. Okay.
Yeah, I discovered this talking with someone else. I mean, you could try at midnight, but somebody was trying to rent our group camp, and they said that they have to wait until 7. So I'm going to assume that's the policy for all rentals for state parks. I lost my train of thought.
I was asking if there was a deposit.
Oh, yeah, you just pay it in full.
Pay in full when we book it.
Yes.
Okay. And what if there's a cancellation? Like, what if they get sick or she breaks her nose or something? And
so, if you cancel more than 28 days out, then you get the full amount back except for the $10 or $8 initial reservation fee.
Awesome.
If you cancel less than 28 days, then you don't get any money back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is there any access outside to any electricity? I don't know why they would need it without computer. I mean, without that.
I guess if during the ceremony, if you were wanting the music to be like a little bit louder, but if you end up, hiring a little
Huge,
band or
yeah.
something, yeah, then you might not need that. But yes, each porch has an outlet
Okay,
that people
good.
can use.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Those are all the questions that she wrote down for me. So
Okay, great. And then I just remembered a couple of things.
yeah, awesome.
Alcohol. You can have alcohol in a state park, but you just cannot be drunk in a state park.
Okay.
So you can have a couple of drinks. It's just not supposed to go beyond that. So that just means no kegs or punch bowls, because it's hard to monitor how much people are drinking
Okay.
from those. And then the alcohol, it just has to stay on the Emel House grounds.
Okay.
You can't take it down to the beach or into the parking lots.
Okay. But they can take photographs in those areas, right? Because they're public spots.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Of course, they can go, wherever in the park, as long as they're not trudging back off trail in the woods. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they can go throughout the day use area for photos. They can go down to the beach. If they go outside of the Emel House grounds, the rest of the park, it's all first come, first serve. So you can't like run people off the beach or something because you want to take photos.
Right.
So
In the Emel House, though, we have this area, so we can
Yeah.
people please step.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a wedding here right now.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, of course. So if people start walking down and that they're not, if they're wearing
Right.
a swimsuit and they're not a part of the wedding,
Right.
just politely tell them we have this area reserved. Would you mind just you can walk on over to the beach if you want, And if people aren't listening, you can always let us know. But we do put signs out on the lawn letting the public know there's an event going on. And whenever we have the booth staffed, we will also let the public know
Oh, great.
there's an event going on at the Emel House. Please give them their space.
Perfect.
And people are usually pretty good about it.
Yeah, and people want to watch from a distance, no big deal. They just don't
Yeah.
want them to come sit down and try to get some food or something.
Right, of course. I think last week somebody went to sit in one of the chairs on the porch, and a wedding guest just politely told them that there's an
Yeah.
event, and then they left. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
normally people are usually pretty respectful, but I guess there are some people out there who they have blinders on.
Right. Or they're just not socially aware.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that's good. Go ahead.